Hey guys, here. Today I'm going to go through the top 10 most powerful cards in MUT 21 right now. Now, there's quite a few of them, and they change throughout the year. Obviously, power levels early are not near the power levels now. Changes in patches, nerfs, that's really changed the dynamic of MUT 21. We went from, scramblers early with Lamar Jackson being faster than everybody else to quarterbacks taking a nerf on the scramble. We've had a similar thing, of course, with receivers when the route tech got nerfed. But overall, outside of some of that stuff, it's been pretty consistent. We've looked for very similar things all year. Speed, certain abilities to be either, one step for man coverage, some zone abilities. Acrobat went wild for a while until they increased it in price for their safeties. CB still have it, but I kind of want to focus on cards that I think really are, I wouldn't say crazy overpowered. We haven't anything near like we had last year with Eric Dickerson. So let's get to the 10 most overpowered cards in MUT 21 right after a message from our sponsor. Rock Bottom Coins is the #1 place to get your Madden 21 coins. If you make coins for my videos, sell them to Rock Bottom. If you're buying, use my code GUTBOX for 15% off. All right, let's go to number 10 on my list, which is going to be a defensive lineman, Justin Smith, the only D lineman that's going to be on the top 10 list. And why is he there? Basically, he's a right end that can play anywhere on the line. He can play outside linebacker with that speed, right? 92 on the speed running for a 285-pounder. What's great about this card is the flexibility. He can play your nose tackle effectively. He can rush the passer. He can shed against the run really well. But most importantly is you man him up against a running back, and he's not going to get toasted like a lot of other defensive linemen that you're going to put there. Obviously, you're going to sub in outside linebackers at those DN spots if you want more speed there. We'll get to offensive outside linebackers in a second, but subbing him at defensive tackle and then basically manning him up on the halfback angle route so your user can go somewhere else and doesn't really have to worry about the halfback angle as much until much later in the route when maybe he might get a step because he's got, most running backs are high 90 speed now. But Justin Smith's ability to be flexible and to kind of take care of that portion of the offense if you're getting hit with a lot of halfback angle routes is super important. Why I love this card, why I think he's so powerful, because that kind of speed at the nose tackle, the defensive tackle, is almost, unheard of, and there's really no that matches that. So the number 9 player is Deshaun Watson, somebody who's not on my team, and it's because I think a lot of other quarterbacks can do what he does. His throw motion isn't anything crazy. We're about to see Aaron Rodgers hopefully this next week if he wins MVP on the honors. So Deshaun Watson here, number 9, because of his ability to scramble, gunslinger, hot route master. You can throw QB playmaker on there. I don't think it's necessary as playmaker on wide receiver is good enough, and that's 4 AP. You don't want to spend 7 AP on that. But overall, right now, this Deshaun Watson card, because what he can do on the field for you is basically the best quarterback in the game. I don't think he's like that. Like I said, not crazy overpowered. He can make all the throws. He will miss them, though. I have seen that, and it was very frustrating to watch him on 4th and short miss a throw to the flats to convert the first down. So Deshaun Watson is not infallible, but he is still a very solid card. But that's why he's a little bit later in the lineup here. He's number 9 because he has had some misses. All right. Number 8 will be Alvin Kamara. My running back since he's come out, you're like, he's number 8 on the lineup above, other running backs you guys are going to see in a little bit, above Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders. You can argue Barry Sanders' flexibility for theme teams really takes them there. The thing about Alvin Kamara and why he's so powerful is because he's a receiving back archetype. Because he gets this backfield master for only 1 AP, which is an amazing route running ability for the running backs. Basically, more hot routes, so you can put them on those angle routes, flat routes, ghost routes, which I think are underrated against zone. Against man, they're But, Kamara here, because of that, because of his attributes here, 98 overall, no theme team, acceleration, high-end agility, basically does everything, plus the 99 break tackle for the card. And especially next gen, he's basically been a headache. They had to nerf break tackles on next gen, I think because of this card. I watched this guy when I played on next gen for quite a few games, just break tackles to take it to the house against me, and he was very frustrating to play against. You saw it with a few other ones, but Kamara was definitely the biggest offender of broken tackles, and for good reason. Fast, agile, and arm tackles ain't really doing a whole lot to him. But that is it. The receiving back archetype, the card. It is a phenomenal one, and why I think it's number 8 on the list. The only reason he's not higher is because there are other running backs that are so very close to him right now. But he was head and shoulders number 1 when he first came out. What is that, like a month back, maybe, or more? All right, number 7 on the list. It's kind of a tie. It's 2 tight ends. It's Vernon Davis and Darren Waller. I think Vernon Davis is slightly better than Waller, but if you want somebody for matchup nightmare that's taller, I can see the Waller. But I do think Vernon Davis is number 1 on the list for tight ends. 96 speed, no theme teams. You can go San Francisco, Washington, even Denver to get him up to a higher 97 for a 25, 98 speed for a 50 out of 50 theme team. And he is a demon at that level, right? Wide receiver speed of the tight end spot is so very important. Like, that speed is the reason why they stopped allowing us to have wide receivers at tight end, because it was just untenable for defenses to kind of match with it. Now that we got sub linebackers, now we got safeties at linebacker, I don't think it's a big deal to put wide receivers at tight end like we used to have it back in the old fun days of Mutt 16. But at 17, they took that away from us. So, yeah, that's it. 96 speed, 98 acceleration, great catching, spec catch, but you're really just looking for the speed, the route running. He hits all the thresholds, medium, short, deep, for your corner routes, your crosser routes, everything you really want to run it with your tight end. Vernon Davis has it, and you have it in spades. So, next on the list is Sean Taylor. I think Sean Taylor is the 6th best card in MUT right now. He is a turnover machine, right? You're like, well, his man coverage ain't great, and that is true. You could argue that you want a little bit higher man coverage out of him to play like more of a man coverage scheme, but he is his zone coverage, turnover, absolute demon out there. 6'2", 220, a good-sized safety that will lay the boom on just about every single player on current gen. Derrick Henry, I would assume, would give him troubles on next gen. I don't really see that matchup, that collision very often, but I did try and hit Derrick Henry with my middle linebacker a few times, and Henry did shake that off because weight does matter quite a bit more on next gen than current. But with Sean Taylor out there, the velocity which he gets sideline to sideline, plus the ability to shake the ball out of the ball carrier's hands with bone-rattling hits, makes him quite a valuable player to have on your defense. Flexible and beautiful. Sean Taylor, number 6. All right, and then the number 5 most overpowered player in the game is right next to him, Lawrence Taylor. Right here, 95 speed at outside linebacker. So you saw 96 on our free safety. And these are obviously no theme teams. You could boost it up more. Power move, finesse move, both high. Block shed maybe a little bit lower you want to see. But something about Lawrence Taylor, he just gets the animations. He just always in the backfield. The speed that will hawk down the Michael Vicks of the world. If you do go against a scrambling quarterback that's got to get out of the pocket and trying to, do that escape artist, tight end delayed fade BS. This guy's going to kind of make their life a little bit more miserable, and that's really what they should feel like with that, kind of scheme. It is annoying to face. So having somebody like Lawrence Taylor, like I said, another fast edge rusher, a defensive lineman, one of those guys that are rushing the passer with that kind of speed and velocity is super important to really close the gap, because people will feel the pressure coming in on them, but if it's coming from an 80-something speed defensive lineman, like a lot of guys out there are, they'll be like, all right, now I can get it off a little, they got those extra frames. And this game comes down to frames a lot of times, right? Just one frame, one way or the other, right? Football's a game of inches. So having somebody that can close those frames down, can take the quarterback down, make him miss, make him throw a duck up in the air with a throw at a sack. Lawrence Taylor has done that quite a bit and continues to do that now since he was released a while ago. So Lawrence Taylor, quite overpowered. So the number 4 player is this player at defense right here. He is 98 speed. I don't actually have him chemmed out properly here, so that is actually 99 speed. Sorry about that. But I just kind of screwed up with my lineup. But overall, 99 man, 99 zone. His press is also over 90, so he'll get a lot of press wins. His earlier card did not have that, so you really couldn't play press man with him. This card does press my soul out because a lot of my opponents run man-to-man and run zone and run press man, and I can't get off of it still with Deion Sanders, who is never known as a press corner, just mysteriously gets high-end press. So this card is basically a perfect corner. The only thing you can ask for is a little bit more height, a little bit more hit power, obviously, but that wasn't his game. Maybe a golden ticket will deliver the hit power if they end up doing it, but overall, this is basically endgame golden ticket-esque type of card. Deion Sanders has, absolutely robbed me a few times on a few plays and done the same for me against my opponent. So quite a powerful card. His offensive card was the first one that had playmaker on it too. That was overpowered for it. So you can say Deion Sanders and both D and O combined would make up number 4 on the list, but just the defensive card alone does that, especially if you're on a man-to-man scheme. I'm in a zone scheme right now, so I'm with zone cornerbacks to try and get cheaper zone abilities, and I'm testing that out for the moment. But Deion Sanders is absolutely somebody you want with that high-end agility, high-end change of direction, speed, and acceleration on your squad. He's a playmaker. All right, the number 3 most overpowered player in the game right now is this Tyreek Hill. Reek is there because of his absolute 99 speed, 99 acceleration, 98 agility, 98 change of direction. Almost the perfect receiver. The only thing he's missing is height, right? Height is kind of a big deal. He's got 91 jump on it, but he is a shifty guy. He is one for the sticks, the quick movement side to side, the catch and drag, take it upfield, let him do his, his work. He's also a burner for over-the-top type coverages, so he will definitely dominate there for you guys too if that is your prerogative there, if it has your offense to kind of shoot it deep, which I like frequently doing. I just like chucking it deep. It's more fun fitting in those tight holes deep down the field. So Tyreek Hill, what else is there to say about the cheetah other than he's quick, yo. He is quick. So get the ball in his hands as much as possible. The number 2 player on the list will end up being Randy Moss. So Randy Moss on this list, with the theme team especially. Now I'm missing one because the Oakland Raiders. So he is 99 speed because he's Oakland Raiders theme team on this. But if you don't run a Raiders, if you don't run a Patriots or a Vikings, yeah, I can see you saying, okay, I want 99 speed instead of 98. But 98 at 6'4" with that kind of target, it is a large space to hit. And Randy Moss really does come down with the ball really well with 99 spec catch, 99 catching. 6'4", 210, and flies like the wind. So I really enjoy using Randy Moss out there, and I think that's why he's number 2, right? I think wide receiver and cornerbacks are the most important things that you can get for your MUT team, and having one of these cards out here with end game stats at that height, right? Since our Megatron this year was bad, is kind of important because when you're throwing balls to the sideline and they got a zone underneath it, like the ability to kind of throw it to Randy, and he's just a little bit higher than the guys like Cheetah, right? He's taller, so his catch height is higher. It makes it harder for, I feel like, the guys that are in the underneath zone to jump back and pick it because the trajectory, especially on your gunslinger, which already has a low trajectory, is just a couple inches higher and just maybe sometimes out of reach for them. So height does matter. We also know height factors into speed and get off for receivers. The taller they are, the faster they are. That's something I was tested over the last few years. I tested it, and I think this year somebody else tested it, basically repeated that test and confirmed it again. So while the shorter guys are more nimble, can stop quicker with their different shorter running styles, the taller guys are actually faster than shorter guys on the field. So Randy Moss, he is number 2 most overpowered player in the game for me right now. Now, the number 1 most overpowered player in the game is who else but the user lurk god himself. Let me add back the 2-time sprinter card so that way I can show you at his full power level. All right. The user lurk god himself, Isaiah Simmons. All right, so we look at his attributes. 97 speed on this card, 94 man, 99 zone. What I like about this card, not only is his user self 6'4", 233, he lays the absolute boomstick, right? With 95 hit power on that height and weight, the guys go flying. It's great for shooting the gaps and getting a hit stick on guys in the backfield, causing fumbles. Simmons does it all. With that high-end man coverage and the ability to be a hybrid safety, what I've done lately is put one step on him. So I play a zone scheme, and then I man up him against different guys randomly in the formation that I think might go on the break that they might look at, and then he's going to be able to cover them either on, he's going to cover them a little better. Crossers still can kind of get them. Obviously, routes can still get them if they are really good man-beating routes, even against one step ahead. But I think it makes them tighter to guys. It makes it harder. I match him up against guys with playmaker. So I'm like, if I'm going against a bunch, you see a lot of people copy the comp guys, and they'll just like playmaker a guy one way or the other, the reverse way. If I go man coverage, or if I go zone coverage, so they're gonna playmaker guy. The one step actually sticks kind of close, and that's really what he's for. That one step on Isaiah Simmons, along with the top end speed, really has shut down a lot of playmakers that I've faced lately. And so that's why I think Isaiah Simmons, because like I say, I like guys that can do it all, right? I like guys, like I said, on the D-line, with my linebackers, Drop coverage, Ted Hendricks was a just miss because he can almost do it all too. I should have put an honorable mention section because he would have been on there, but well, we'll just say him. There's a couple other honorable mentions, but let's just leave it at the top 10 with Isaiah Simmons at number 1. I think this is a card is a must-need. He doesn't have a power-up, so it's just the card you got to grab, and I definitely think every single roster should have a Simmons because he is absolutely insane to go against. So I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you guys think. Who you in your top 10 most overpowered players? Let me know in the comments. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Thumbs down if you didn't. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.